I say failure in quotations because that's kind of a really loaded word for many of us, and it's laden with a lot of heavy emotions. But the truth is, failure is actually normal. Okay? It's part of the process to learning, to growing, to becoming better at something, to mastering a skill. We all start from, kind of a beginner's level. Anything we embark on, that's where we all start, okay? We all start at the beginning level of any endeavor. The first step is always the first step, okay? And there's a continuum, there's a learning curve that we all must partake in order for us to get to where we want to go. And guess what, guys? Unfortunately, failure is part of that process. So I really want to normalize this to you guys, because I don't want you to be afraid to get things wrong, to make mistakes, to fail. Because the minute you really understand that failure is part of the process, and sometimes a necessary part of the process, the power that it has on you will be significantly diminished. Okay? So I want to tell you guys a little bit about the world of engineering. For those of you who may not be aware, in engineering, failure is expected. Okay? Testing the design or the viability of a product is part of the process. And in the testing phase, that's where they expect to fail. They expect to find out what's wrong with the design or the product. They don't expect the first run to be flawless and to be imperfect. They use the information from the so-called failure of the tests to innovate, to continue to improve. And that's how things get better, is because through the testing process, they realize that, this, didn't quite work out as good as I thought. This, needs to be improved. And so it's part of the process, you guys. It's inevitable, okay? I'm going to keep bringing this point home. Failure is part of the process to growth and learning and mastery and success, okay? So back to the testing example. So engineers expect to fail. Testing is part of the normal process in which they innovate. Elon Musk actually said, if you're not failing, then you're not innovating, okay? I really just want you guys to take that in. Take that in. If you are not failing, Elon Musk says, then you are not innovating. That's how normalized failure is to him. He expects to fail because he knows in that failure he will be better because of it. It's going to contain information he didn't have before to make the Tesla that we know now. Okay, I'm super passionate about this, guys. So if you're feeling the energy, it's because I truly, truly, truly believe in what I am advocating and promoting here. So, again, failure is part of the process. This is how we learn about our strengths and about our weaknesses and the things we can improve upon, okay? And it's the product, another quote I want to share is, failure is the product of pushing the envelope, okay? The product of pushing the envelope, because if you don't live on the edge, you're never going to know what your true capabilities are. If you play it safe all the time, then yeah, you'll be comfortable. You won't necessarily experience the discomfort of failing, but you would never really fully know your true potential. You would never know how much capacity you really have for your goals or towards your goals. So there's a dance, guys. There's a dance. We don't grow usually when we're comfortable and happy. Okay, and I'm not saying chase misery. But if you reframe and have a mindset of curiosity when things are not working out for you, feel the pain, but reserve a level of curiosity and wonder for why this might not be working out right now. Whether it's a relationship, a goal you're pursuing, a project, whatever it is that's not working and you seem to be failing at it, take a step back, feel your feelings. After that, shift towards curiosity and wonder and go, what might not be working here? If I were really to take my emotions out of it and I look at this with an objective eye, what are the strengths and weaknesses of this relationship? What are the strengths and weaknesses of this pursuit? What are the strengths and weaknesses of this project? And if you're really honest, the answer's right there. And if even more so, if you're really inquisitive and have a student or learner mentality, you can apply that knowledge to improve upon whatever it is you're wanting to do. So self-disclosure, I had a handful of relationships that were really not working out. I mean, of course, in the beginning, it was great. And then problems started to happen. And so I started to look at it as a pattern, okay? And instead of putting the finger over there and blaming them, which, yes, they have some responsibility in the dance. We're both dancing to the music, not just me, right? We both made a choice to be together. But once I really took a step back and I said, okay, patterns, here are the patterns. What can I learn from this? If I were to take my emotion out of it, what can I take away from the lessons that are in front of me? And only then did I really, when I was honest enough and curious enough and had enough self-compassion, right? When I did not internalize the failure of my relationships as somehow meaning that I'm unworthy, when I was done doing all of that and I was just busy learning and growing and not beating myself up for it, that's when change happened. That's when the answers really started coming because I wanted to learn and grow. So that's failure, guys. If you take failure as feedback, okay, you will be so much better because of it. Failure versus feedback. I love that. And I don't know who coined that term because I definitely want to give them credit. I don't know who coined it, but it is brilliant. Most of the time it's failure, not feedback. Okay? Another example I want to give to you guys is that Michael Jordan. Okay? Think about Michael Jordan. And when we think about him, we think about his greatness. We don't ever think about how he really got there and the blood, sweat, and tears and the number of times he failed to get there. So I'm going to share another quote, right? So he says, I missed 9,000 shots, lost 300 games, 26 times I was trusted to take the game-winning shot and I missed. And he says, I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Wow, isn't that so powerful? Okay? I failed over and over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. And you can only do that. You can only have that kind of heart and mindset when you really start to humble yourself and get out of your own way and be curious and humble enough to go, what can I learn from this so-called failure? What can I learn from this experience? Because the lesson is always there. And it's all in the lesson, you guys. It's all in the lesson. It's not just about the pursuit or the outcome. It's about the journey and the lessons you're learning along the way about yourself, about, the world, and whatever the lessons are that particular experience has in store for you. So be open to it. Stay open to it. Okay? So failure again. Failure is failure. It's feedback. It doesn't have to be bad. As a matter of fact, it is a wonderful opportunity for growth and learning. if you can laugh with yourself instead of at yourself, that's another way to think about failure. Okay? Don't take yourself so seriously. Get your ego out of the way. Get your ego out of the way, because it's only our ego that tells us we're not good enough, right? And of course, there's a lot of wounding around that and traumatic stuff associated with that. So if you find yourself in that kind of pattern, then that's the time to really think about the help of a therapist, okay? If you're in a pattern of feeling worthless and powerless and helpless and afraid to take risks, then maybe you need more help than just changing your mindset. But regardless of your situation, this message still applies to every single one of us, okay? And, you know, like I said, in most science and engineering endeavors, failure is part of the process. It's normalized, it's expected. They're testing, you know, right now for the vaccine, right? There's a lot of clinical trials that go with this stuff. And so failure is something that they are accustomed to. It's just us, you know, a certain majority of people that don't really think like that. But if you change your mindset and you just normalize failure, it will take the power that it has over your life. I don't know anybody who is living a life of purpose and contentment and happiness or success that didn't experience that. We all experience that. It's part of the process of sharpening the knife, our knives, you know, metaphorically speaking. So that's all I want to say about this, guys. Failure is feedback. It doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't say anything about your worth or value. It has nothing to do with that. Do not turn it into untrue statements about yourself. Adopt a curiosity and wonder, and ask yourself, what lesson is this giving me? What can I learn from this, and how can I improve? And remember, as Elon Musk said, you are not innovating if you are not failing. That's the only way he was able to create Tesla for what it is now, is a series of failures. And that's true for many, many other great pursuits and creations and inventions. So I hope this inspires you guys to keep going, to keep trying, to believe, and just take it one learning step at a time, okay? And it's there for you. It's there for you. No matter how big or small, whatever this is you're dealing with, don't let failure diminish you, stop you, or the fear of it take over your life. Because really, it's just all in our heads. It's just all in our heads. And step outside the paradigm and keep learning and moving through it. And I guarantee you, you're going to feel so much lighter, so much more empowered, and just so much more capable. Okay? So that's it, you guys. Like we always say, be well, be gentle, get mental. Thank you for everybody who watched and listened. Get mental, because we all have issues. Bye for now.